You already mentioned before that Kotlin is your favorite programming language, so people are still asking if they should learn Java or Kotlin for Android. So what is your opinion on that?
Yeah, I've been getting that
As a
question.
big, I mean, as a beginner, even if Kotlin is nicer, maybe for beginners it makes still sense to learn Java first.
Yeah, I get that question like literally every live stream these days. I haven't been doing too many up until like a week ago. So let's say I'm a beginner and I'm most probably primarily concerned about getting a job. Should I learn Kotlin or Java? So the only situation at this point, I wouldn't have said this 2 years ago, but at this point, in my opinion, there's only one reason why you would prefer to learn Java over Kotlin. If you're trying to get hired by a specific company and they specifically say they still do things in Java, that would be a reason to prefer Java. Um, Now, it's helpful to learn about the JVM, which can be quite a technical topic, whether you're learning Java or Kotlin. At this stage, the problem with learning, say, the basics of Java before Kotlin is that you're going to get used to. Listen, I love Java. It's my first programming language where I wrote significant code. The syntax is terrible and verbose. It just sucks.
Yes.
I love it, but it sucks. So you're going to be picking up all these bad habits and you're going to be memorizing this terrible Java syntax. And then probably when you start writing Kotlin, you're going to be like trying to map that to Kotlin. And that was one of the problems I had when I started with Kotlin is I was basically trying to write Java in Kotlin. And when you really get used to writing Kotlin, you really are able to write like 40, sometimes 60% less lines of code in order to do the same thing that you would do in Java. So that would really be the only situation where I would recommend learning, say, Java. If you had to pick one of the two, if you're doing Android development, I think most companies that aren't just gigantic legacy Java code bases full of people who hate change, which if that's the case, then you should find a different career because programming changes all the time. But those companies, I'm sure they exist. If it's not one of those companies, I think it's better to learn Kotlin, especially for Android, because you're going to be a lot more productive. And over time, I do think for most JVM type applications that Kotlin will become more popular. Admittedly, they just recently added sealed classes to Java in like Java 17, so maybe Java will catch up. But for Android, I do recommend Kotlin.
Yeah, they're adding a lot of this stuff to Java. Also records, I think, which are similar to data classes.
Yeah.
But on Android, I would, as a beginner, just learn Kotlin now, unless, as you say, you have a special reason because you want to get hired at a specific company. But what people also have to understand is that Kotlin is also easier, at least in my opinion, on Android at least, because if you want to use these Jetpack libraries, they're all optimized for Kotlin now. They are just easier to use in Kotlin.
Yeah. It's important to understand that Kotlin is a modern programming language. And that is an important distinction because Java, I think it's around the same age as I am, or maybe I'm like slightly older than Java. And that comes with a lot of, like I say, clunky, verbose syntax and some approaches which are maybe not so optimal. I think one thing to point out in particular, Java has been trying to add this stuff in, but some of the sort of, I don't want to say properly functional, but functional style features of Kotlin, when you get comfortable with them, are very, very useful. A perfect example is, for example, Kotlin's function types. I use them all the time now. Like in my view models, in my composables, my composables actually observe function types and they pass a lambda into the view model. And that's how I actually completely replaced live data for my composables and compose apps. So